El Barça es la nostra vida. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is April 27, 2025, and Barcelona are champions. Yes, you heard that correctly. Barcelona are champions for the second time this season. For the 32nd time in its history, Barcelona are champions of the Copa del Rey after defeating Real Madrid 3-2 and after putting the final nail in Real Madrid's coffin during this season. This is the post-match live analysis. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Campeones, campeones, ole, ole, ole. Campeones, campeones, ole, ole, ole. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Bo. This is the post-match live analysis where we analyze Barcelona matches usually as soon as they end. But today I'm doing it I think it's like 24 hours later. I do apologize about that. Yesterday I was traveling. I'm currently in Canada. This is why you see this weird background. I'm not home. I'm not in my YouTube studio. I'm in Canada until next Sunday. So every day I will be doing short live streams to bring you all the Barcelona news. And that's why I wasn't able to do the post-match live analysis as soon as the match ended yesterday. But no worries, because we're here to talk about that incredible final, incredible Clásico match in the Copa del Rey, where Barcelona emerged victorious, defeating Madrid 3-2 in what was a difficult match, a complicated match, a match where Barcelona had to fight until the last second, a match where Barcelona had to be resilient, and a match where Barcelona had to go against all odds, including a terrible, horrible, horrendous refereeing that was against us from the first minute. Yes, Real Madrid did that whole show crying about the referee, making a Real Madrid TV video accusing the referee of being unbiased. Then when the referee complained about it, they demanded that he be changed. When the Royal Spanish Football Federation decided not to change the referee, they pulled out of all official activities, including a luncheon with John Laporta, training session, photos, press conference, you name it. And then they even threatened not to show up to the final. Well, thankfully they did. And for what? Just for the referee to be against Barcelona from the first minute. And I'm not saying this because I believe there's some kind of conspiracy where Florentino Perez sent the check to the referee to rule against us. But it was clear that all the pressure that Real Madrid put on the referee worked, because the referee was scared of calling calls against Real Madrid and in favor of Barcelona. And this refereeing was absolutely, absolutely horrendous. Let's start with the penalty kick on Pau Cubarsí. Clear foul in the box. The ball is headed to Pau Cubarsí. Pau Cubarsí is trying to push the ball in. He gets dragged down. His jersey's all the way up. I mean, you can see his whole chest and stomach. Clear penalty. The VAR doesn't even check it. Not even check it. One thing, if they checked and they're like, whatever, they're both pulling each other. They didn't even check it. Then there's this clear handball by Valverde. Cross into the box to Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres hits the ball. It's going to goal. Valverde does a save better than any save Courtois did the entire 120 minutes. Again, no check. Now, okay, fine. You can argue his falling. That's his support arm, even though the arm is not even on the ground. Whatever. But at least check it. Nothing. Then there's this. Another clear penalty kick in favor of Barcelona. Ferran Torres is in the box. Rudiger kicks his support leg from under him. Soft foul, but nonetheless, foul in the box. It's a penalty kick. At least go check it. Nope. The referee doesn't even bother. And then there's this. Clear red card on Tchouaméni. Scissor tackle from the back to Dani Olmo. I'm surprised he didn't break his leg, because he scissor tackles the leg that Dani Olmo has all his weight on, his support leg. And he could have easily shattered his knee. He could have easily broken his leg. What do? They gave him a yellow. Now, don't forget, Fermín López had a red card for the same exact foul. For scissoring a defender, he got a straight red, deservedly so. These fouls should get red card.
But what about Tchouaméni? So right there, 3 clear penalty kicks in favor of Barcelona that were never even reviewed. A scissor foul on Olmo that should have been a clear red. And let's not forget, there's also that tackle by Modric on Pedri, studs up, high up. That should have been a red too. But okay, whatever. This one though, clear as day. But anyways, refereeing, absolutely horrendous. But that did not matter because as I've been saying for this entire time on my channel, as Flick has been saying, when you do your job, the referee doesn't matter. Yesterday, the referee was terrified of calling calls in our favor. It didn't matter. Yesterday, the referee missed 3 penalty kicks in favor of Barcelona. It didn't matter. Yesterday, the referee should have shown a red card to Modric and Tchouaméni. It didn't matter because this team shows up. They do their job. They play like they know how to play. They implement Flick's identity and tactics. They do the job, and the referee doesn't matter. We've been seeing that happening match after match after match, where we've been getting horrible calls against us, horrible calls in favor of the other team, and it doesn't matter because this Barcelona plays as a unit. This Barcelona plays as a team. This Barcelona has a clear identity. This Barcelona has a clear idea of what they want to do on the field, and that's exactly what they do. And when they do it, they dominate, they dismantle, they thrash teams, they score goals, they create chances, they win games, and they do it so well that nothing else matters, including a horrible referee yesterday that made terrible call after terrible call. Another thing we've been talking about all this season, this team's mentality. This Barcelona is resilient. This Barcelona is mentally strong. This Barcelona has a fighting spirit. This Barcelona has a championship winning spirit. This Barcelona has a fight like no other Barcelona in the most recent years because this Barcelona never gives up. We were down 2-1. It seemed like it was all over. It seemed like this cup was going to slip away, and Barcelona fought until the last second. Ferran Torres scores a goal. We're tied. We go to extra halves. The players are absolutely exhausted. They're walking across the pitch because they're so tired, and yet they continued fighting until the last second, until that brilliant goal by Jules Koundé, because this Barcelona is resilient. Not only does this Barcelona know how to play, know how to dismantle and demolish opponents, but even when things are going wrong, even when they're down, even when they're losing, even when they're tired, even when they're exhausted, even though the referee's against them, this Barcelona doesn't quit. And ladies and gentlemen, it's all thanks to this amazing squad that we have with this young talent, amazing coach, Hansi Flick, who has helped Barcelona rise from its own ashes after failure after failure after failure, year after year since Luis Enrique left. And it's thanks to the staff that also Hansi Flick brought with him that have helped this team also get back to top shape to continue fighting, because this is not easy. This calendar has been absolute insanity. A match every 2 to 3 days, 3 different championships, a FIFA break every other week. But yet this team has withstood all these tests thanks to Flick, thanks to the staff, and of course, thanks to the players who have believed in Flick and his idea and implement Flick's ideas on the field every single match. I am on absolute cloud 9 because I think yesterday the team that deserved to win won, which is FC Barcelona. This was not only justice for our team that fought until the last second and had to fight against a referee, the terrible calls, but I think this is justice for football as well. Because what Real Madrid have been doing since last year, 2 years now, with the Real Madrid TV, video after video, thrashing referees, accusing them of robberies, accusing them of being corrupt, accusing them of being against Madrid, and yet with total impunity. Royal Spanish Football Federation doesn't say anything, La Liga doesn't say anything, and they continue to do it and do it and do it. And yesterday it worked once again because the referee, the pressure worked, but Barcelona were resilient. We won, and this is justice for our team. This is justice for football, because what Madrid have been doing is not right. Now, let's talk about the match itself, because first half, absolute dominance by Barcelona. I think Barcelona came out like they came out during the Spanish Super Cup final, like they came out in the first La Liga El Clásico match, and they absolutely dominated Real Madrid. That was a one-sided match where Barcelona were constantly creating chance after chance after chance, just hammering Real Madrid, and Real Madrid had absolutely no answer to that. And that's when Pedri's brilliant goal came. What a goal by Pedri. A pass by Pedri to Lamine Yamal from half the field. Lamine Yamal controls it beautifully. And this is what Lamine Yamal does really so well. Because people, Madridistas are like, oh, Lamine doesn't score. Oh, who gives a shit? Do you see what he actually does on the field? Because what he does is absolute brilliance. Not only does he control the ball, but he holds on to it because he already knows what's going to happen. He knows Pedri's going to make that run, and he knows that there's nobody to cover him. So Lamine Yamal holds the ball, draws 4 defenders, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 defenders away from the outside of the box, waits for the perfect moment, lets the ball go, passes it to Pedri, and then Pedri, beautiful bucket to the top left. Amazing goal. And Barcelona were up 1-0. Now, Barcelona wasted a lot of chances in the first half, which is unfortunate. I think that could have been easily 3-0 before the halftime, but it didn't work out. Sometimes it doesn't happen. I think we got penalized a lot by the fact that we didn't have Lewandowski there, because even when Lewandowski's not scoring and people are complaining that he's old and he's not doing anything and we're playing with just 10, what Lewandowski does is he draws at least 2 defenders away from other players. So if Lewandowski was there, I think things could have been different. We were also penalized by the fact that Balde wasn't there, because we've seen it. Gerard Martin, he's not Balde, and he's never going to be Balde. And when Balde's not on the field and Gerard Martin's there, we just don't have that offensive punch from the left. We just don't, because that's not what Gerard Martin is. That's not the kind of player he is. He's a defensive left back, not an offensive fullback. And we were really missing a lot of punch on the left. Not to mention Rafinha, he had another off match yesterday, so we didn't really have anyone on the left. It was just Lamine Yamal. But nonetheless, Barcelona imposed total dominance in our first half. We got a goal, created a lot of chances. It could have been 3-0. It didn't work out. Second half, I think the team came out a little bit tired. Second half, we saw the other Barcelona, right? The first half, we saw the Barcelona from August, September, October, January, February, March. Second half, we saw the Barcelona of this month of April. A little bit of November, December, not as bad, but we saw a different Barca. A Barca with no ideas, a Barca lacking some punch, a Barca lacking intensity, and I think it has to do with exhaustion, because the team really in the first half, they came out with lots of intensity. It's the end of April. They played so many games, and that's when Real Madrid really reverted things. I think the substitutions that Ancelotti did worked really well for him, bringing in Modric, bringing in Güler, bringing in Mbappe, who, by the way, should have been playing because he should have received more than 1 match ban, thanks to that criminal tackle that he did on the Alaves player. But whatever, it's neither here or there. And I think in the second half, Ancelotti did beat Flick as far as tactics. It worked for them. First goal, Mbappe from the free kick. What the fuck was Szczesny thinking, putting that wall? Horrible. He literally puts one, guys here. It leaves the whole middle gap wide open, which is exactly where the ball goes through. It was like a penalty kick for Mbappe, not a free kick. Terrible placement of the wall. Second goal, Tchouaméni, who should have received a red card and therefore shouldn't have been in the match and therefore should have been able to score that goal, scores that goal. I think Koundé had a little bit of gaff there. He gets confused who his mark is. He tries to mark Jude Bellingham, and then halfway through he remembers, oh, wait, Bellingham is not my mark. It's actually Tchouaméni. By then it's too late. Tchouaméni's by himself. He scores goal. Real Madrid 2-1. Their change of tactics worked. Their substitutions worked. And the fact that Barcelona were tired, it worked. So Real Madrid were ahead. But then comes the brilliant pass by Lamine Yamal, second assist in a freaking final against Real Madrid. Beautiful pass to Ferran Torres, who, by the way, Courtois makes a horrendous mistake because Rudiger is going to close in on Ferran. All Courtois had to do is stay in goal, and maybe Rudiger gets to it. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Ferran takes on Rudiger, but it doesn't matter because now Ferran has to get through Courtois as well because Courtois is on his goal. But instead, Courtois comes out, and then in one touch, Ferran Torres gets past Rudiger and Courtois because both of them came out at the same time. Ferran, brilliant goal, 2-2. And then this is when I started getting worried. I was like, all right, we need a goal. We need a goal because we cannot go to extra halves. On Wednesday, we have a very tough match against Inter Milan. We cannot go to extra halves. We cannot play extra minutes. We need the rest. Unfortunately, 95th minute, Rafinha has the ball in the box. He has control of the ball in the box. He could have shot it, maybe scored, maybe passed it and assisted someone. But what does he do? He drags his freaking leg and dives. What are you doing? What are you doing, dude? You had that ball. It's not like, oh, there comes Asensio. Oh, he's about to get the ball from me. Last ditch effort. Let me just dive and maybe I get a penalty kick. No, no, no. You had full control of the ball. Asensio was not going to get to that ball. He drags his leg and dives. And of course, the only time that it's not a penalty kick, the referee goes to the VAR. They check it. It's a dive, clear as day. Very, very disappointing in Rafinha. Disappointing because he did that dive. That's not what we do. That's a Real Madrid thing. Let Vinicius do that. Let Mbappe do that. Let Bellingham do that. There's no place for that in Barcelona. So Rafinha, please, please, please don't do that again. And not just disappointing the fact that he did that, disappointing the fact that he had that. He was in total control of that ball. There was no need for the dive. You only do that. Well, you shouldn't do that, but you only do that when you see like, oh shit, I'm about to lose it. I got nothing to do. I got no one to pass. I got no clear shot on goal. There's nothing else I could do. So last ditch effort. No, no, no. He had people he could pass to. He could have shot it. There's so many things he could have done, but instead he dives, and it's like, Rafinha, why? So of course, half is over. We go to extra halves. I think that first extra half, both teams were absolutely exhausted. You could see the players just walking around. Second extra half, I think this is where Barcelona's fighting spirit really kicked in. The players were done. Tired, they're exhausted, their legs were shot, they were done. And somehow, some way, they dug deep, and they got the extra fuel because in the second half, Barcelona started attacking. They started creating chances. They wasn't as dangerous because they were so exhausted, but they dug deep. They found that energy, and then came the brilliant, beautiful goal by Jules Koundé, a goal worth a title, a goal worth a championship, because what Koundé did there, how he intercepts the ball, takes 2 steps, and then it's just dagger in the heart of Real Madrid, shoots that ball, scores that goal, and it was absolutely over. Beautiful win by Barcelona. The way they fought until the last second, the way they came from behind, the way they mounted the comeback, the way they fought against all odds. This was a very, very well-deserved championship. The 32nd Copa del Rey for Barcelona, which makes Barcelona the undisputed king of the Copa del Rey, 32. No one else is close. I think Real Madrid have 20, so 12 cups less. Beautiful match, beautiful final. And I think that this was the closest El Clasico match during this season. And it was mostly because of Barcelona's exhaustion, because if not, I think Barcelona would have demolished Real Madrid yet once again, like they did in the Spanish Super Cup and during the first El Clasico match. And now, the Real Madrid that they told us in the summer that it was over. It was over for everybody, for Barcelona, for all La Liga teams, for all European teams. It was over, right? Because they dominated. They won the Champions League with Vinicius, Bellingham, and Rodrigo. And now they're bringing in Mbappe, the best player in the world. It was over. Why even bother to show up? They were going to win the sextuple easily. And well, yesterday, another championship that they're out of. They lost the Spanish Super Cup to Barca. They lost the Copa del Rey to Barca. They lost the Champions League to Arsenal. The only competition they're alive in is in La Liga, which technically they could still win it because it's only 4 points. Hopefully not. So beautiful day yesterday. And again, this is the importance of staying humble. This is why when Laporta made those statements saying, hey, yeah, sure, we have a chance at the treble, but there's nothing to celebrate. We haven't won anything. We still have to win things. I said, I really agree with that statement. And yesterday was the proof of that again. Because again, in the summer, they told us Real Madrid had won it all, right? Well, that's the importance of not celebrating before you actually win. This is why it's important not to count your eggs before they hatch. You have to stay humble. You have to put in the work. You have to show up, because just saying I'm going to win it doesn't cut it. So clearly a lesson for Real Madrid, and a clear lesson for Barcelona too, because I see sometimes Barcelona fans celebrating the treble. It's like, guys, we haven't won anything. Yes, yesterday was a step forward. We still have La Liga. We still have the Champions League. Very difficult match against Inter Milan. We still have 5 matches in La Liga. So very important lesson in humility to Real Madrid, and also a lesson to remember for Barcelona fans and Barcelona that we need to stay humble. And by the way, Real Madrid, who always say, we are the club of sports values, right? They say that in Spanish a lot. El Club de los Valores, right? The club of sports values. Check out these values, how beautiful they are. Look at that. Rudiger throws, I think they're saying it was an ice ball, something, at the referee, and then he tries to go and attack the referee. They have to hold the back. Look at that face. It's a face of a fucking maniac, of a psycho. But the club of values, right? Well, bravo on your sports values, Real Madrid. You did all that campaign to put the pressure on that referee, which worked. And then you pull this. If those are the kind of values you're trying to teach, I want to be nowhere near those values. But anyways, we are champions, ladies and gentlemen. 32nd Copa del Rey, second trophy of the season. We have 2 more to aspire to. Let me hear your thoughts. I'm ecstatic. I'm on cloud 9. Beautiful match by Barcelona. Beautiful win. And now we have Inter Milan on Wednesday. Hopefully that will be another win for the club. And let's look at the comments, starting with the donation from Gaming Kratos, who says, as you said, you are in Toronto. Did you visit official Barcelona fan club near CN Tower? It's called Pint Club. I was supposed to, but my flight was delayed. And by the time I cleared immigration and customs, and I flew with my dog actually, so I had to go through like a special different customs, like a second set of customs so they can check my dog. By the time I got into the city, it was already 3:30, so it was 30 minutes before kickoff. And by then, I asked my cousin who lives here. He said, "Dude, my friends went to the Pint. It's absolutely packed. They're full. They're not even taking people in." So I was like, "All right, okay." So we ended up watching somewhere else, but I had a lot of fun either way. Thank you for your donation, by the way. And let's see. Mike Valencia says, shameless sportsmanship from Real Madrid players. How the fuck can one act as a child in place where millions of fans are watching? Absolutely agree with you, my friend. And I really hope they get punished, because yesterday conduct was not okay. You do not throw a fit like that. You do not throw articles at the referee. But of course, I'm sure they're going to write in the referee report, just like when Mbappe did that horrendous tackle on the Alaves player. And then they were like, oh, he went for the ball, but he accidentally, fouled the Alaves player. They only gets a 1-match ban. I'm sure they're going to be like, oh, Rudiger was so happy with the referee's performance. He was throwing flowers at him as a thank you. And that's what happened. Christian says, I don't get why Madrid fans are mad at the referee while the game was obviously against Barca. Yeah, 100% agree with you. And David Barca says Real Madrid players should get 3-match ban. More. And Cornell, my man, says campeones. Yes, sir, we are champions. Java the Hutt says Rudiger's stupid, but Ancelotti didn't look like he cared about what his players are doing. I think Ancelotti's tapped out. I think Ancelotti's done. Like he's checked out mentally. He knows it's over for him. They're gonna chop his head off at the end of the season. So at this point, he's like, oh, fuck it. He was probably already like in his head planning. He's like, all right, I gotta fix my resume. I gotta update this. I gotta send it. I gotta upload it to LinkedIn. I mean, that's probably what he was thinking. Joao says, if you watched the Man United game today, a player did the same tackle on a player and a red card was awarded. I mean, yeah, that's a red card any day of the week. The Money Mindset says the only thing that can stop us from winning the treble is fatigue and hectic schedule. I agree, and this is why trebles are so difficult to win. People think of trebles like they're nothing. Like, oh, we're going to win treble. Oh, we should win the treble. So, guys, the treble is very, very, very difficult. It's nearly impossible to win. It's a miracle of football to win a treble. That's why Madrid have none. They have 15 champions and they have 0 trebles, because it's very, very difficult. Exhaustion, injuries. I mean, not just physically, but mental exhaustion as well is very, very difficult to pull through. And this is why Barcelona are an absolute amazing club, because we have 2. And we can technically make it 3, but one step at a time. Let's take it easy. And Shin says, we beat Madrid, we beat VAR and beat the ref. We overcame Rafinha not being able to put a shot on target. We had 4 challenges in 1 match and beat them all. No doubt we'll treble if we keep our heads. Amen, my friend. There were so many odds that we had to overcome, and we did, because this team is absolutely resilient. They're mentally strong. They have a fighting spirit. They have the spirit of a champion. And it was a beautiful win by Barcelona. Fibsy says, I understand that Gerard Martin is not a wingback like Balde and cannot provide an offensive punch, but he had a lot of wrong passes, possession loss, constantly passing back. This is concerning. Absolutely, yeah. Not a good match by Gerard Martin at all. It's definitely our weak side. Agbon says, Mo, how are you doing? We miss you. Congratulations to Barca fans all around the world. Visca Barca. Visca Barca, my friend. And yes, congratulations to all of us for winning this beautiful, beautiful win And Longwinski, who is the cousin of Lewandowski, says if we had Balde and Lewa, game would have been over the first half. Need the boys back. Martin can hang. Love Olmo and Rafinha, but both were off. Yeah, it really punishes not to have Lewy, which again, people are always, oh, Lewy's old. He sucks. Get rid of him. He scored 40 goals. Oh, how terrible he is for scoring 40 goals. Yesterday, I think it was clear that we needed him because, again, even when he's not scoring, Lewandowski's presence in the box changes things because he pulls defenders away, even if he's not doing shit. And when he does that, guess what? That opens up spaces for people like Pedri to come from the second line, people like Frankie who can run from the second line, people like Olmo, people like Rafinha. That's what Lewy does. His presence alone changes matches without him having to do anything. And you don't get to do that unless you're actually, have a long career of being one of the most lethal strikers of our times. Joao de Almeida says, if you watch the Man, oh wait, already read that. And let's see, Foucault says, congratulations to all Barca fan. Forza Barca. Amen, my friend. Congratulations to all of us. And with that, let's end the stream. I will be doing some short live streams later tonight to go over Barcelona news. So stay tuned to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. Celebrate today because we are champions. And not only are we champions by defeating Real Madrid for the second time this season. We beat them in the Copa, Spanish Super Cup final, became champions. We beat them in the Copa del Rey final, we became champions. Hopefully, we'll beat them in La Liga in the second Clásico, and that will make us champions. But of course, for that to happen, Madrid would have to lose against Celta Vigo, which it is a possibility. They're completely, mentally and physically, they're done. So if that does happen, if they lose against Celta Vigo and Barcelona beat them in the second Clásico La Liga, we can become champions in La Liga also by defeating them. But anyways, one match at a time. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, peace.